AHA meetings will be approved by one vote unless any or all these trustees desire to have a separate vote on any or all these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. Minutes of the monthly finance meeting on October 22nd, 2019. Minutes of the monthly trustee meeting on October 22nd, 2019. And a check report, October 9th, 2019 to November 8th, 2019.
I would move approval of the consent agenda as presented. Second.
Have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Hannaford to approve the consent agenda as it was presented. Roll call vote, please.
Gaspard?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Self?
Here. Yes.
Randalls?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
All right. Next is the CEO's report. Candace?
All right, as you can see, Mark Nichols has had his hands full. Several projects going on that fall under IT, ready to make a decision on the phone project. We're also looking at HIPAA compliant email, and still not fully ready to make a decision on that part yet, but getting closer. The server project, still, as of today, even looking at getting one more quote, and then I think we're going to have enough information to make a solid decision on that. So I would guess here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be ready to have probably a special board meeting to bring that to the table. Overall, very busy in the IT world. As you can see, we've been pretty busy in the hospital as well. Volumes are up, which is good. Helps our cash flow position. Students are back. Northwestern nursing students are doing their rotations. We're always happy to see them, get them coming back through. Upfront collections and registration, we're up to $41,455. I attended OHA conference last week. It was a good conference. I guess we'll talk a little bit later about, Steve and Kevin will talk about what we're doing in the business office, looking at doing there. Recruiting wise, we did get Steve Madrid. Some of you might be familiar with Steve, was with us years ago. Steve's coming back to us in February. He's going to cover Dr. Self's practice while he's out, so we're excited to have Steve back. We did get word today from Dr. Dan that she declined the offer, citing not enough opportunities for her husband to grow his practice. So we have not heard back from Dr. Swazu yet. He's slated to hopefully make a decision by the end of this month. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Steve's been doing a great job. Again, thanks. Thank you, Steve, for stepping in.
Sure.
He's been working with Kevin for about almost a month now, and trying to drink from a fire hose. Pretty much. Does anybody have any questions for me?
You might just add a little bit about, or I can, whichever way, about Dr. Dan and what she said about the...
Oh, I'll read. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 seconds. Dear Candace, I've decided not to accept the position with Share Medical Center. The decision ultimately came down to the lack of opportunities for Greg to grow his practice. I apologize for the delayed response. This was a very tough decision for us. We want you to know that my family and I were very impressed with the time and energy the community invested in us. From the welcome meal to the school and library tours, and the most impressive of all, the community members' love for each other and their community. Alva is more than just a place on a map to us now. It's a community. It's a family. I wish you all the best in moving forward.
I just thought that spoke volumes about our efforts, and it wasn't anything that we probably could have done different. Sorry to miss out on that opportunity, though, as well. Any other questions for Candace? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept.
Get a motion to accept the Sheriff Municipal Center written report for November 19, 2019.
Second.
Have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Jay Randalls to accept the Share Medical Center written report for November 19, 2019. Roll call vote, please.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Self,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jasper.
Yes. I was waiting here. Anyways. Hey, thank you, Candace. Appreciate that. Next is the CFO's report.
Okay, for the month of October, we posted $1,800,000 worth of charges, an increase of $159,396 compared to prior month. And most of that increase was due to the inpatient volume, like Candace said. We went from 69 days in September to 118 days in October. Our clinic visits were up as well. We went to 1,380 visits compared to 1,224 in September. Contractuals were almost identical to the prior month. They were 55.8% of gross patient revenue. Accounts written off to collection agency for October was only 2,045. The reason for that is we were doing some transitional time. I can tell you that by the 3rd of November, everything was written off. We have to, with Heather leaving and Jane coming on, we had a little bit of transition time, and we were just trying to get everything done correctly. So anyway, we should be fine moving forward, and we're just a few days off, but didn't have to follow the month of October. Charity care for the month totaled $17,405. Net operating loss for October was $172,067. Net loss after sales tax and contributions was $97,834. If you flip over to page 2, the $97,000 loss was really not as bad as it might seem, because we had the one-time expense. If you look at other expenses, you see it went from $143 up to $210,000. The roof expense was $54,999. So that was it was due to, it was an expense, but it really wasn't due to the operation. So we actually did a little bit better than what that's showing there as far as true operational costs. We did see the professional fees went up. We had some contract physicians covering the emergency room. That was up $13,000. And we expected the supplies. The staff did a really good job in September when we were a little bit short. We had to order supplies in October when the volumes came back, and so you can see that $16,000 increase as well. Like I said, overall we lost $97,854. If you flip over to page 4, you can see really the revenue, we're off about $1.4 million, and most of that, $900,000 of that is due to the inpatient. And when we get back to the graphs, you're going to see that for both September and October, we had huge patient days last year compared to this year, and that's the reason we see that drop in the revenue as well. Year to date, our net loss is $444,885 compared to $252,339 in the prior year. Cash at the end of October, it looks like we were doing pretty good. We were saving money back for payroll, but it was $220,595. Cash has, though, improved. We have finally, those volumes have picked up. We're seeing actual cash coming into the building and stuff, so it has helped reduce some of our needs for looking at other sources of cash as well, so that helps. Page 6 is your accounts receivable. You can see it's almost identical. The good thing is the unbilled went from $485,000 down to $356,000, so that's a positive as well. Page 8 and 9 is your balance sheet. Page 10 starts the graphs, and that's where you're going to see the patient days. When you look at September and October, how much difference they were, and that's the reason when you compare the 2 years side by side, the revenue's down as much as it is. Otherwise, most of the stats are within the norms of what we would see. So, is there any questions on the finances?
Any questions for Kevin? If not, we can move on to the next item. True Bridge.
Okay. The finance committee, True Bridge is a company that helps with business office functions. They are going to allow us to look at being able to do eligibility verification up front, be able to start handing out patients their actual estimate of what their cost is going to be based upon historical data like Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, whatever, so we can hand them out whenever we have the CPT go. This is what, based upon the eligibility and stuff, of what you're going to owe. So that should help with some collection processes. They're also a company that provides contract services, that they'll load our contracts into software, and as our remittances come in, they'll compare to see if we've been underpaid and stuff, and if it is, they'll be able to write denial letters and stuff for us. Something that right now is next to impossible to do with all the different payers and stuff, so I think that'll be a big help. The other thing is they're going to be able to help supplement our business office when they're on vacation, or if we need additional training. We had BKD came out a few months ago and did a revenue cycle analysis, and there were some deficiencies we had, and we feel that this company would be a good fit for us to rectify those delinquencies going forward. The way they get paid is a percentage of what they collect. That collection percentage is 4.69%. Just to give you an idea, we would do away with our other upfront collection agency, which is out of Colorado. We're going to use this company as well, and it's a lot cheaper. We're currently paying 9% for that collection agency, for that. So that's also going to be a positive as well. They also have historically been able to improve cash. Moving forward, our yearly basis of 13% more cash than what we did in the prior year. So they, with their techniques and all the matrices that they have and stuff to help us, they should also help improve cash. They are the HFMA, which is an organization that I belong to. It's part of an accounting stuff for hospitals and stuff. They support them. They're a vendor preference and stuff, so they're a good, legitimate company. There's several hospitals in the state of Oklahoma that use them across the nation, so that's a big company as well. Based upon that, through finance, we would ask that we approve a contract to go with TrueBridge to help supplement our business office with all the products that they have to offer us.
That's just a one-year contract?
It's a 5-year contract.
5 years?
It's a 5-year contract. And there's some outs to it if they don't perform, a 90-day out and stuff, so, but yes.
So the only cost to us is the 4 point whatever
Yeah,
percent, correct?
yes, that includes them doing
Okay.
our statements, doing some
Right.
of the early out collections, all the products, the clearinghouse and all that. So they're really, except for the true first set of registration, after that, they're pretty much help supplement the business office.
Right.
They're going to keep our current staff, so we're not going to lose any staff, but they'll help supplement that as well.
It's kind of a win-win for us.
I'm familiar with that company. They do good work.
Yeah, okay, good. For years, that's one of those things that we have struggled with. And sometimes in some of those areas, maybe we keep doing the same thing over and over. And we don't know maybe if that's the best way or if it's not the best way. That's just the way we do it. And it's probably something that we have sought out. It doesn't matter if we were with QHR or with St. Anthony or whoever else has come through, to seek that type of knowledge and that type of oversight and that type of help. And this is, in a way, kind of a godsend in my mind, because it's something that we've always searched for. And there's no set monthly fee. It's based on what they collect. They make money based on the more money we collect. That's why I say it's a win-win. The more money that we collect, the more money we make. The more money they collect, the more money they make. If we're not making any money, then they're not making as much money. So, any questions that anybody has for Kevin in regards to that? We do have an agreement. If anybody wants to look over that, we have went through that.
How soon to start?
Oh, it'll start in March. It takes them that long to get everything set up and everything, but yeah.
So it'll have like contract management, they'll load all of our contracts in there and be able to see, whether we're getting paid on contract or not. Right now, there's no way for us to manually chase that.
Have we found some other institutions that are using them and they've been?
Yeah.
Okay.
So based on, their estimate and what we looked at, this is an estimate. This is no guarantee. There's nothing that comes with this. But if based on just their first glance, that could be a difference of maybe as much as $75,000 a month.
Where are they out of?
Mobile, Alabama.
They do have experience in Oklahoma. They have Weatherford Hospital.
Yeah, Weatherford, yeah. and they've done
They're
that.
trying to get into this market.
In the Oklahoma market, so.
Maybe I missed it. How did we come across it?
A year ago, I was talking to him and stuff. I went to contract management and a couple of other pieces, but not the whole revenue cycle. And then we was going to go to Epic, and when we was going to go to Epic, I backed off because Epic had those pieces. I didn't want to double pay because we did be in the same contract. So when everything happened, then I reached back out to, once we got the BKD report that had all these deficiencies, I thought, well, this company could probably address almost all those deficiencies. But having to hire this consultant, that consultant, this consultant, I'd have a one-stop shop that can come out and help us run the whole thing. The other thing, just so you guys know, is once they get started for March and April, they'll have a consultant here 5 days a week the first 3 weeks. They'll be remote for a week. They'll come back for 3 more weeks. He or she come back for 3 more weeks, and then remote again for a week, and then they'll be watching it from afar off if there are issues. So they're going to invest quite a bit of time up front to make sure we get some processes down that we need to make sure they're, I mean, if we're lacking. I mean, it's a good thing to look at the whole revenue cycle as a whole. So I think it's a really good thing.
And like you said, one of the other biggest benefits is if somebody's away on vacation. You know, in our business office, the size of it is, if one person's gone, if a coder is gone on vacation, and they're gone for a week, or God forbid it's 2 weeks, we're not coding anything for a week or 2 weeks. These guys, you know, there's a separate fee for that, but these guys can provide a coder then for that period of time. Or if somebody retires or moves or whatever, they can help fill that gap until we can find a new person for that position. We haven't had that in the past. We've just had to have somebody else man up and let's go. And they may or may not have the training at the time we are asking them to get into that
We're
position.
just so lean right now. If we lost one of those key people, we don't have anybody to train a new person. Even if we could find a new person, we don't have anybody to train them. So, and that position only gives a 2-week notice, so you're stuck.
So from finance, we recommend that we do this. And so, are there any other questions in regards to the implementation of TrueBridge?
I'd make a motion to approve the agreement with TrueBridge.
Second.
Okay, who was the second?
Taylor.
Dr. Simon.
Dr. Simon.
Excuse me, Dr. Simon.
So I have a motion from Jay Randalls and a second from Dr. Simon to approve the agreement with TrueBridge. Roll call vote, please.
Zell,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Okay. The next item is a note with Shared Trust. Shared Trust was nice enough to offer a operational loan to us in the amount of $500,000. And so we need to approve this promissory note. It'll be a 5-year note. We'll make a monthly payment on that note at 2.5%. And so we need to make and the monthly payment would start in December. But we need to make a motion to approve that. We discussed that in finance, and we recommend that we do this.
I would make a motion that we approve the note with Share Trust.
Second.
We have a motion from Dr. Brown, a second from Dr. Self to approve the note with Share Trust in the amount of $500,000. Roll call vote, please.
Randalls,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Zell.
Yes.
Okay. Next is the discussion about CTS phone system.
Yes, if you guys will turn over to other material towards the back of your book, I've got a proposal for a telephone system. We looked at several different options that were out there. We felt that this was the best option for us. They would allow us, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but our phone system, we're at the end of the life, so we are having to replace it, and that's the reason we're looking at that. The CTSI, we looked at several things. One of them is VoIP. This one's not. This one could be VoIP, or it can be the conventional side. So it can convert either direction. So right now we are going to, since we still got some AT&T contracts out for a couple of years, we're going to use the more conventional side of it, and then eventually switch it over to VoIP. With that being said, we can use our existing lines that we have in our building now. We're all going to get new phones that goes with that. That are all going to be multifunction phones. We're going to have the ability to have a Polycom sound station that will go up and down the table here. So if we ever decide to have conference calls and stuff, we can easily conference in and people can get in as well. This phone system will allow us to do instant messaging. It will allow us to record calls if we need to. Of course, voicemail. Every phone will be able to do its own conferencing as well, which will be nice if anybody needs to do that as well. This is actually one of the best prices as well for us moving forward. To purchase the phone system itself is $81,815, and then we would also like to get the 5-year maintenance agreement for $37,500. So it's $119,315 is what it is for both of them together. The funds that we're going to use to pay that would be from the shared trust. We gave us a grant for the phone system, and we can pay with what we thought the phone system was going to cost us from that. So that's where we pay for the funds.
How long does it take to get a changeover on your phone system and installation?
Probably within the next 30 to 60 days, they have to get the phones in here, and then they'll get the call trees set up and stuff, like dial 1 for this or that, get all that set up, and then we'll just start switching the phones out. They'll come out and do that. So it'll be a lot quicker than if we was going to do VoIP, we would have to replace all the switches, because all of our switches are old, and then some other infrastructure, which we don't have the time or the money right now to do. So this is the best thing, and then as we want to change over to VoIP, we can do different sections or different phone rooms at a time and change them over and slowly do it at once, so we don't have to do it all at once to get to complete VoIP. But like I said, right now we're underneath an AT&T contract for some long distance that we can't get out of for some commitments, so for a couple of years. So this is my recommendation. Mark worked on this quite a bit. We talked, I know the 5 different phone companies, and he interviewed them all and stuff, and he whittled down some more on this as well, so he did a good job. I want to say that Mark Nichols did. So.
Are there any questions in regards to the phone system? There is a breakdown. I don't know, did everybody receive that?
Find other materials.
What those costs are for the hardware and then the service agreement.
I will make a motion to approve the purchase of the CTS phone system.
Second.
All total, that was $119,315. So I have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Hannaford, to approve the purchase of the CTS phone system and its service agreement for $119,315. Roll call vote, please.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hanford,
Yes.
Self,
Yes.
Randall.
Yes.
Anything else? No? Thank you. There's quite a bit, as we talked in finance. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on our plate that is not normal. I mean, between the Windows 7, need to go to Windows 10, I guess, conversion. So the new computers and this phone system, we've got a server project. this True Bridge. There's lots of stuff out there, and that doesn't include any other rural health clinics or 3D programs. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So, anyways, thank you guys for your efforts. Next is Dr. Self.
We met on the 14th, and I have nothing to bring before the board.
That's all you have?
I
All right.
got there.
Easy cheesy. Quappy. We don't have anything for Quappy this month, do we?
We did meet, and we were just continuing to monitor the things that we need to from the last survey, and everything seems to be working fine.
Okay. And then improvement to patient care, there's the contract review. Everything was compliant. And then we have a list of policies and procedures. The following items, which are 7B through 7I, are all routine policies and procedures. They can be approved or disapproved by one vote unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all of the following items. I'll go ahead and read through them, and you guys can decide if you want one vote. The utilization review policies and procedures, the yearly quality management policy and procedures, the swing bed policies and procedures, the employee health policies and procedures, the human resource policies and procedures, the urgent care policies and procedures, and the West End clinic policies and procedures, and the corporate compliance policies and procedures. Does anybody have any questions in regards to any of those policies or procedures? Does anyone have a desire to have a separate vote on any or all those items? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve 7B through 7I on all the procedures, policies and procedures.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Jay Randalls to approve 7B through 7I of the routine policies and procedures as listed. Roll call vote, please.
Brown.
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Casper.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Self.
Yes.
Randalls.
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
All right. The next item is the Share Convalescent Home report. Kelly, you want to give that report first, and then we'll do the...
Sure.
Okay.
So we had slightly less census in October than we had in September. We averaged 52 instead of 53 the previous month. Total days paid were up by about 45. Of course, there's one more day in October. Just in general, we've had several deaths among our residents over the past 6 weeks or so, and so that's it's a couple things. One, it's we get to know these people, and that it's hard to deal with that because when they live with us as long as they do, and so we've been working with the staff to make sure everybody's doing okay and all of that. But on the other hand, our census is about as low as I remember it in quite some time coming to our board meetings. Right now we're at 49. I don't remember the last time coming in here we were quite that low. But that being said, we are still getting some referrals. We did an assessment today in Enid, and hopefully that'll turn into an admission in the next couple days. But at the same time, it's probably been a little bit of a blessing as well because we are transitioning into our point-click care electronic health record. We're also transitioning into the new patient-driven payment model through CMS. So it's probably been all right that there's not been as many residents to take care of as we try to work on some of those things. we've had quite a few activities going on. You can see those there in the report. We did submit our desk audit back to the state, and in lieu of them coming out and performing a revisit, they asked us to send back information that we had complied with the plan of correction that we'd sent them, and we're still awaiting word. It might be in Candace's email, I don't know, but we're still...
No, I've been checking.
We're still awaiting word that they've reviewed that information. There's quite a bit of information. I don't know that they would have gotten it all reviewed yet. So on that, I'll announce that on November 6th, Tierna Adair took the position as interim DON. Christy Williard is remaining with us, and she's going to reduce her responsibilities with us, and she'll be our primary treatment nurse as well as our admissions and assessment nurse. And I think that's going to be good for all involved. Christy is really good at taking care of people, and the management stuff is where she finds her most frustrations, and as she's looking at where she's at in her career, she's happy to make this move. And Tierna's, if you've had the opportunity to have her as your nurse in the ER or in the clinic or any of these places, Tierna's just got a great bedside manner. She's very sharp.
She's very bright.
She's very sharp, and she knows policies just about as good as anybody over there, and as well as the different aspects of the laws that we deal with. So I think we've had a good transition in talent all the way around, and I think that's going to bode very well for us. The first few weeks with Tierna on site have been very smooth, so I anticipate more of that. Christy has been mentoring her for the last 2.5 weeks, and this week, at the end of this week, Christy will go on vacation, and Tierna will take the reins, and when Christy comes back, she'll be the treatment nurse. So, but things are going real well with that, and I don't think we're gonna miss a beat during that transition. It's going to go smoothly. You can read through there. We've had several hires over the last 6-8 weeks. We've had several either employees pass or finish up their CNA certification classes and get their certifications. We've also had CNAs turn into LPNs, and that's been exciting to see them succeed with those endeavors. And we're working on some other things for employee morale and stuff like that. So overtime was up slightly from October over September, and actually that's a good thing for us, because when our overtime is up, that means we're paying less hours out in agency care, and our agency hours were down almost 100 hours in October, so that cost went down. And it's even down more than that in November with some of these new hires that we've been able to bring on. Any question on that before I go into the finances? Well, we did have, we were in the black in October by about $19,000. Our revenue, with having a few more patient days, our revenue was up, let me find it, $15,541 for a total of $322,992. Our operating expenses were $109,719, and so that was our expenses were down a little over $15,000, and so our wages were $145,309, which was an increase. Some of that was in that overtime. Some of it was just by having more staff available. And so, like I said, we had a net income of $19,469 for the month of October. Best month in the last 6 months. I don't know, maybe longer. Probably longer. If you turn to page 4, you can see that year-to-date, we're still in the red, about $9,700. Last year at this time, we were up about $55,000. And I think with our rate increase that went into effect, we're going to, chew into that difference over the next few months. And we're also still waiting on CMS to release the state to fund us for our DHS Medicaid increase. So it'll be retroactive to October 1st, but I'm ready for it.
Have they given you any insight?
No.
Yeah.
And they send out an email that said periodically that says they still haven't done anything. So I'm wondering when the time will be to call our U.S. elected officials and say, hey. But we do have lobbyists working for us with Leading Age, and I'm sure the other company, not working for us, but on our behalf of the industry, pushing for that to get accomplished, because we're not the only ones in that boat. Every nursing home that takes Medicaid is in that boat. And you can see our stats there in the back and our balance sheet. Any questions on the finances? The next 2 items on the agenda, we're seeking approval of. Item A, with our efforts to help our residents come into good standing with their accounts, there's a couple things that happen. One is that they sometimes voluntarily ask us to be their representative payee, and so we have an account at Bank Central for that. It's our resident trust fund account, and that currently Rita is the signator on that, and with this motion it would add me, so either Rita or I could be signatories on that account so that we can help our residents pay their bills with our nursing home. So, and I would ask that the board approve that.
I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve adding Kelly Parker as a signer to the SCH Resident Trust Fund account at Bank Central.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Hannaford, a second by Dr. Brown for the approval of adding Kelly Parker as a signer to the SCH Resident Trust Fund account at Bank Central. Roll call vote, please.
Bog,
Yes.
Gasper,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Sell,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay. And the next one is the refurbishment account?
Yes. So part of the new payment model that we're looking at is one that's weighted towards we're going to reimburse it at higher rates, but we expect that there would be a return on that investment into the facility. And so what we've decided that we would do is take $1 per patient day and set it aside into a refurbishment account that would only be used to enhance the facility. And so this would, once we start taking that $1 per patient day, we would put it into this account, and this would establish that account once we start doing that. For the signatories to be the same as our operating account. And Rick, are we going to have to approve those individuals?
I think you are.
Okay, so that would be me, Jason, and Candace as signatories.
Rick, do we need to bring that as another line item and another time?
No, I think you can approve it and establish it now with those people.
So the approval or disapproval will be for the establishment of a refurbishment account for shared convalescent home and community bank with Kelly Parker, Candace Allen, and it'd be and/or.
Not.
Do we currently do 2 signatures?
We do normally too, I mean,
Okay,
it's
so,
always done.
Then you would add the landlord would be the third party.
Okay.
We just haven't set it up that way, I don't need to get it today, but just authorizing those.
My
three.
name's supposed to be on that, is that what you said? Okay, so how that would read is the approval or disapproval of this, of establishing a refurbishment account for shared convalescent home and community bank with Kelly Parker, Candace Allen, and/or Jason Gaspard as the signer. Correct?
I believe so.
So, okay.
I make a motion to establish that account.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Kim Ball, a second by Dr. Simon, for the approval of establishing a refurbishment account for shared convalescent home and community bank with Kelly Parker, Candace Allen, and/or Jason Gaspard as the signer. Roll call vote, please.
Gaspard,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Self,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Kim, I'm glad you made that motion. Because I think my head was going to explode if I tried to remember all that.
I figured Jason wrote it down, so.
I was getting there. All right, Kelly, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the homestead report.
I'd like to give my report, much like Dr. Self, and say there's nothing to report. Not the way he did that. I want to pull us in. Okay, I'm not going to do that, of course. Okay, so I'm going to start with the report that has the graphs on it. Starting at the top, you'll see that we did, hooray, increase and improve our numbers from the previous month at least. Mostly, as you go on down to the next section, mostly in studio and 1-bedroom apartments. I would sure like to fill some 2-bedroom. If any of you all would like to come, that would be fine. It's a good place to be, I keep telling you that. But so we are still down, especially when you look at the years past, and that's what you'll see in the graphs, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But occupancy is decreased 18% versus last year, and you'll see that in that very next section with the bullets. It tells that we have 36 residents right now occupying 34 apartments. We don't have very many contract staff, and that has made a difference, of course, in our revenue, just because we do charge a revenue for that. But in the flip side, we do that, we give that really to those contract staff, so it doesn't make a big difference in money in the end. Coming on down, we are up in a few of our activities, down in others, and that's partly because we don't have as many residents, but they're still enjoying what they do, for sure. Our transportation stats, we're still making lots of trips around town, which is great, and they're enjoying that, and I'm glad that we have that service. Laundry is still cracking. We've got plenty of laundry to do, even though we have less residents, we have plenty of laundry. So we haven't had a lot of change in staff. We don't normally have a lot of change in staff over there. Looking on down on competitive facility, we did fix the street light out back. It had gone out, which was causing us a little problem with the skunks when we wanted to take out trash after dark. So we're glad that that's fixed. So I'm happy with that. Moving on down, our meals, we were up with meals again, and I believe this next month we're rolling a little better than we were in a couple months ago. So I am glad of that. That makes a difference. It really does make a difference in our numbers and our dollars that are coming in. So I am happy with that. Also, our food costs are still down, so we're good there. I am trying to kind of run through this because I know you all can read, but looking at our financials, and that's what I'm looking at now, going on to that, you'll see that really the homestead is down, of course, on our gross patient revenue, which is our rent. So we're quite a bit down. If you look from May, when I first started, that maybe is an indication, but we're at 73,000, I can't even read that. and now we're down to 52, so that's not encouraging. But if you look at the bottom line, we went from 19 to 14.7, so I think we're still doing good. You'll notice last month to this month, we did do much better on our bottom line, and that really is attributed to, we've made some adjustments. I think I even made that promise last month that I would look at supplies, at food costs, at people costs. If we're down in numbers of residents, then we need to be adjusting on the other side of that. And so we have done that, and that's really what has caused that. So I'm a little like that at home, and so I don't do that much different at work. And so I figure, and we're doing fine with that. We really are. We're working with less people, but we're all busy. And that's always a good thing too. You keep a happier workforce, to tell you the truth, the busier you are. And good teamwork happens from that, so I'm happy with that. Looking though, overall, gosh, I'm 30,000 down year to date. So I know Kevin and Steve would like me to do something about that part. So I'll work on that part next. I've had even the residents really would like us to advertise outside of the Alva area, and they've said this here before, and I haven't done anything about that, so that will be my next push, is to make sure that we let people in Woodward and Enid and, you know, close enough still, even in the Kansas areas, know what we have for the price we have, and that it's so nice, and the activities and the opportunity for socialization. I had actually someone my age that was telling of their parents living there, and what a difference it made in their life that they just weren't seeing anyone on a day-to-day basis until they stayed there. So there are things like that that it really offers. Plus they weren't eating at home. Well, we cook for them, so that's their social time as well as their eating better. So there are things like that that really are helpful. Okay. We do have an open house, put this date down, December 17th, and I believe, let me see, I have it here. It's, I think it's 5:30, yes it is, 5:30 to 7:30. It's on a Tuesday, December 17th. We have our Christmas party and open house. There will be great food, and even if you just want to come out to take a look around, that's a great opportunity, and visit with the staff, see some of the residents. They're great. They're fun to talk to. They love when people come in. So we're excited about that. We have a Thanksgiving dinner we're doing that has a lot. I heard one resident say she's bringing 7. And that's one person. So their families are, and Kelly knows this better than I do, but their families are invited. They just have to turn in the numbers, and then they pay for their family. But it's a wonderful opportunity that they get to offer that to their family to have Thanksgiving. I'm surprised at so many families that will do that rather than take them out. I was surprised at that. We have a lot of them. So anyway, that's all. Do you all have any questions, thoughts, additions? Well, it wasn't as good as yours, Dr. Self. Work on that.
Any questions for Christy?
What was that date again?
December 17th. We would love for you to come.
5:30 to 7:30. All right, thank you. Foundation report, Kelly, anything to report?
No.
No. All right. Moving on up. Next is St. Anthony's. Did they send anything? Okay. Nope. All right, next, Bo, City Council report.
Just real quick, some things of interest. Sales tax was up again, I think 3 or 4 months in a row now, but from month to month it was up 5%. From year to year, we were up almost 10%, which is good news. Hopefully that will continue. I know that helps the hospital. Really, the only other things, we did name a new street supervisor and sanitation supervisor. A new street supervisor is Melvin Evans, and sanitation is Ronnie Haskins. So we welcome them. We had a presentation of our, also our employee recognition program. That also went to Ronnie Haskins as he filled in during that time period. We also had discussion, and we approved to enter into a contract with Next Step, which is basically going to provide us an HR department. We kind of had another position budgeted for, but this makes more sense for us because they'll handle our timekeeping, payroll, insurance, paychecks, everything. So we're kind of excited about what that's going to be able to do and help us as we kind of negotiate and move some people around, change up some responsibilities. Other than that, we appointed a Alva swimming pool task force that'll start now seeing what they can come up with and bring to the city council. And other than that, that's really about it. I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions for Bo? If not, thank you, appreciate that. Couple of items. One, under the chairman's report, we've got our AHA meeting schedule. If you'll go back here, we need to approve this. It just says our January through December of 2020's schedule. And so we need to approve that. I need
Make
a
a
motion.
motion, we approve it.
Second.
Okay. Dr. Self, who's
I think he's got a place to be tonight.
Second.
Simon.
Out of here.
Do it.
So I have a motion by Dr. Self, a second by Dr. Simon to approve the AHA's meeting schedule for 2020. Roll call vote, please.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Self,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Casper.
Yes. All right. Two other things. One is on December 6th at 6 at the Moose is the annual Christmas party for employees, and the board is also invited to come. Is that, do you need to RSVP?
And the doctors.
Yes. They need to
Yes.
So, yeah.
All of us?
I want
See
to
you
say
there.
that you're invited.
All of you.
All of
See
you.
you there.
December 6th.
December 6th at 6.
We'll have your own table for doctors.
Except with all my friends.
Do they need to
I'm there.
RSVP, or are you gonna, or what are we doing on that?
We didn't do RSVP last year.
We did.
Or not.
So it'll be all right?
So
Just
they
whoever
told-
shows up, shows up?
Well, yes,
did that,
RSVP. We better RSVP.
Yeah, please.
Came out good last year. Yes, that's
Okay.
RSVP.
All right, very good.
To Christie. No, that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
430-3390.
9-0.
Oh, nine.
Sorry, I don't want to answer my phone.
Okay. The other item, this is Kevin's last board meeting, and so I think we need to give Kevin a big thank you, and we wish we thank you for your service. We thank you for your time and your commitment. We wish you the best of luck in your future adventures, we'll say. And please know that anytime you're passing through, we'd like to see your face. And but we wish you well. And again, sincerely, we say thank you.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate working with you guys. You guys are a good bunch of people, really good board members. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Everybody have a good Turkey Day. And we will possibly be having a special board meeting. There is no scheduled board meeting in December, but we will be having a special board meeting. We've got to get this server project taken care of. We have another email project that we got to get approved as well that goes into all that. So we'll have a special board meeting at some point. So thank you. We're adjourned.